The offer stood. After that, Damien Crow's board would initiate a hostile takeover. The choice was hers. His voice echoed through the moonlit lobby of Meridian Tower. Sienna Brooks, her rich brown skin glowing in the dim light, glared at her rival, jaw tight with fury she refused to show. "Get out of my building, Damien." Damien smiled, a predatory glint in his dark eyes. As he turned to leave, his gaze fell on Darius Kane, who was quietly buffing the marble floors nearby. A cruel smirk played on Damien's lips. "Still struggling. Perhaps your janitor has insights," he said, voice dripping with condescension. "He sees the company from the ground up." Sienna's eyes flashed with anger, but bitter frustration washed over her. She turned to Darius, her voice laced with mocking sarcasm. "All right, give me your brilliant financial advice. What's the master plan for Vale Industries?" Darius stopped the buffer. The motor died into silence. He looked up, meeting Sienna's eyes with an unreadable expression. "Cancel the Helix acquisition," he said steadily. "Your offshore holding company isn't firewalled correctly. There's a leveraged buyout clause hidden in the fine print. When you sign, you won't be buying a company. You'll be handing over 51% controlling interest for pennies on the dollar." The silence that followed was absolute. Damien's smirk dissolved into stunned disbelief, then rage. Sienna stood frozen, the janitor's words landing like a physical blow. "What kind of insane nonsense is that?" Damien sputtered. "You should have him fired. Better yet, arrested." But Sienna wasn't looking at Damien. Her sharp eyes were locked on Darius. The Helix deal was top secret, and the vulnerability he described haunted her private discussions with her legal team. "Security," she commanded. "Escort Mr. Crow from the premises. His presence is no longer required." Damien's jaw dropped. "You can't be serious. You're listening to this nobody." "I am," she said, never leaving Darius's gaze. "Now leave." The guards flanked Damien. He glared at Darius with pure hatred before being let out. "You," Sienna said, pointing at Darius. "With me, now." The ride to the penthouse was silent. Darius stood in the corner, watching the city lights spread below. The doors opened to her vast minimalist office. "Who are you?" she demanded. "Darius Kane, night shift maintenance." "Don't play games," she snapped. 3 people know about that clause. Me, my chief counsel, and the snake I just threw out. So who are you, and how do you know about my deal?" "I read things," Darius said vaguely. "Public filings, market analyses. Sometimes you see patterns others miss. You deduced a fatal flaw in a multi-billion-dollar private acquisition from public documents. You think I'm a fool?" "No," Darius said, meeting her gaze. "I think you're in trouble. That clause wasn't an accident. It's a trap designed to look like standard indemnity. It's triggered by offshore asset transfers, the entire basis of the deal. When you sign, Damien files an injunction. His lawyers argue the clause gives them your shares at a catastrophically low price. He's not trying to take your company. He's trying to steal it." Sienna stared at him. He had described the exact predatory mechanism her legal team had dismissed as paranoid fantasy. "I'm in a war, Mr. Kane, and I'm losing," she finally said. "The Helix deal was my last line of defense. Now you're telling me it's a guillotine." She walked closer. "I don't know if you're a spy or a ghost. Right now, you're the only person who's given me truth. Here's the deal. I want proof Damien engineered this trap. I want to know who my traitor is, and I want to know how to destroy him with it." Darius thought of Maya, her pale brown face, her quiet strength, the medication getting emptier every day. This was madness, but it was the only lifeline he had been thrown in years. "Yes, Miss Brooks," he said, finding strength he thought was gone. "We have an understanding." Sienna pressed her intercom. "Dana, clear my schedule. Issue Alpha Prime clearance for Darius Kane. Unrestricted access to all Vale networks and facilities. He operates under my direct authority. No questions, no delays." Within minutes, Dana delivered a laptop and white keycard. Sienna led Darius to a glass-walled strategy suite. "The clock is ticking," she said. Darius opened the laptop and accessed the Helix contract file. He went straight for metadata and found an external revision from a Cayman Islands proxy. Someone had added secondary encryption, a digital deadbolt, Damien's signature. He couldn't break it from the front. He needed a backdoor, mapping the network architecture for flaws and forgotten pathways. His phone vibrated. Maya's picture lit the screen. His heart seized. "Hey, sweet pea, I'm sorry I got held up." "It's okay, Daddy. Mrs. Porter brought soup. Are you coming home soon?" "I can't tonight, Maya. I have a special project, but I'll be home soon. I promise." He hung up, checking the pills in his wallet. The deadline wasn't just for Sienna. It was for Maya. He turned back to the network. If Damien had firewalled the data, he must have had help. Darius cross-referenced server logs and found an automated HVAC account, a ghost account from an old system upgrade. The traitor had given Damien a key. The account had read write access to a single obscure directory, archived audits. Inside were thousands of old reports, but one file stood out, a compressed, encrypted packet. 10 agonizing minutes later, a video file appeared. Grainy footage showed a man in a dimly lit office on speakerphone with Damien. Darius recognized the silhouette, the expensive watch. Victor Lang, Sienna's mentor and most trusted board member. The final transfer goes to Zurich once acquisition is signed, Damien's voice said. Are you certain she won't get cold feet? Victor shifted. Sienna is proud. She sees Helix as her brilliant move. She won't back down. And the board? The board is mine. They trust me. I'll advise that a buyout by your company is the only logical step. They'll vote with me. Perfect. Her legacy, my company, and your comfortable retirement. Almost poetic. Darius copied the file to encrypted partitions, slipping a micro SD into his wallet next to Maya's pills. Evidence and motivation side by side. He dove into international transaction logs and found small payments to shell corporations, bundled and rerouted until they trickled into Solaris Holdings in Zurich. Hours melted away. The sky lightened from black to purple to gray. Victor Lang walked past the glass-walled office, coffee in hand. He saw Darius, gave a small condescending nod, and continued. The arrogance solidified Darius's resolve. Early the next morning, Darius called Sienna's direct line. What have you got? I have it. All of it. The traitor, the mechanism, the proof. But you need to see this in person. It's worse than you imagine. My office. Now. Darius gathered the laptop and taped the SD card inside his belt. Never walk into a meeting without insurance. Sienna stood by the window, silhouetted against morning sun. Show me? Darius connected the laptop to the wall monitor. He started with data, the flowchart of money laundering, the digital backdoors exploited. This is masterpiece fraud, Sienna said, her deep voice a low growl. But it's just money. The real attack is the Helix clause. Exactly. The money is payment for the information, intel from someone inside, someone you trust. Who is Solaris Holdings? Who is my traitor? Darius took a breath. I found his confession. He clicked play. The video filled the screen. Darius watched Sienna's face. Confusion became recognition, then devastation. The color drained from her brown skin. Her left hand trembled. She listened to Victor Lang calmly outline her destruction. When it ended, she stood frozen, gaze fixed on the blank monitor. Finally, she blinked, breath ragged, her hand clenched into a white-knuckled fist. Shock became burning rage. That snake, she whispered, voice rough with pain. That ungrateful, treacherous snake. For decades he ate at my father's table. He held me at my father's funeral and swore to protect his legacy. She looked at Darius with dangerous light in her eyes. All this time he's been planning to burn it to the ground. They set a trap for me, Darius, she said, his first name sounding natural on her lips. Damien and Victor expect me to walk in like a lamb to slaughter. Her lips curved into a smile holding no warmth. How do we burn them to the ground? They've handed us the weapon, Darius said, the Helix contract. We don't cancel. We don't run. We let them spring it, but when the jaws snap shut, we make sure they're the ones caught inside. A dangerous light flickered in Sienna's dark eyes. Tell me, their trap has one weakness. Arrogance. They expect a business move. They don't expect you to knowingly sign their doctored contract. We amend it. We add our own clause, a reciprocal poison pill buried so deep a man convinced of his genius won't read it. If the leveraged buyout is triggered under fraudulent circumstances, all cross-global holdings assets used as collateral are forfeited to Vail Industries as liquidated damages. A wolfish grin spread across Sienna's face. I like it, but my chief counsel would alert Victor. We can't use him. Then we don't. Sienna walked to her desk, scrolling contacts. There's one person my father trusted implicitly. She's retired, but she'd burn down the world for my family. She called. Margot, it's Sienna. I need you here. Emergency of the highest order. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't. Darius's phone vibrated. A text from Mrs. Porter. Maya seems warm. Head hurts. Just wanted to let you know. Darius's blood turned to ice. A fever for Maya wasn't simple. It was a warning sign. What is it? Sienna asked, seeing his face shift. My daughter. She's not well. I can send my personal physician, best in the city. Darius shook his head. No, I don't want her involved. He called Mrs. Porter. He heard Maya's weak cry. Give her one pill and plenty of water. I'll be home soon. She'll be here soon, Sienna said softly, understanding the fear in his eyes. We're partners now. We take care of our own. Later, Margot Ellis arrived, a black woman in her late 60s with piercing eyes, sharp haircut, and commanding presence. She greeted Sienna warmly, then turned to Darius. Margot, this is Darius Kane. He's helping us save this company. Darius, this is Margot Ellis. She's giving us ammunition. For hours, they became a war council. Darius played the video. Margot's reaction was stunned fury. Victor, after all these years... But anger gave way to focus. They drafted a reciprocal indemnity clause wrapped in standard boilerplate. Victor will push it through, Margot said. He's a financier, not a contract lawyer. He won't see the fangs until they're in his throat. By midday, it was done. A single page, completely innocuous, utterly deadly. Victor meets Damien for lunch tomorrow, Sienna said. Final confirmation before signing. We have a narrow window to make Victor carry his death warrant, believing it's his idea. We can't push, Darius said. The change must come from him. We create a fire and hand him the exact extinguisher we want. We stage a panic. Margot caught on, smiling predatorily. Darius drafted a memo detailing a plausible but harmless flaw, an EU banking regulation conflict threatening to delay offshore funds transfer. In the afternoon, Sienna accidentally left the document in the executive lounge. They watched via security camera. 20 minutes later, Victor strolled through, spotted the file, and casually pocketed it. The bait was taken. The next morning, Dana's voice came over the intercom. Mr. Lang is here. Says it's urgent. Victor entered, holding the fake memo. Sienna, we have a serious problem. The performance began. Sienna feigned shock and fury, threatened cancellation. Victor calmed her. Panicking is what Damien wants. We need to close this loophole. Then Dana announced Margot's arrival. Margot reviewed the fake memo. The analyst is correct. Nasty snag, but fixable. She pulled their Trojan horse from her briefcase. Standard indemnity language. Boilerplate, but clean. Victor read it, eyes skimming. He saw what he wanted, a quick solution keeping his plan on schedule. This looks adequate. Excellent. Let me handle this. I'm meeting Damien for lunch. I'll present this as final minor revision. He'll sign off without thought. He placed the page in his briefcase, snapping it shut, the weapon of his own destruction locked away. After he left, relief flooded the room. It had worked perfectly. Darius's phone vibrated. Mrs. Porter again. Fever is higher. She's asking for you. He pulled out his wallet, staring at the remaining pills. Victory felt hollow. I'm just a father, he whispered, trying to buy my daughter more time. The next day, they listened via audio feed to Victor and Damien's lunch. Darius's phone rang. Northwood Elementary School nurse. Maya's fever spiked. She's disoriented. You need to come. The world narrowed. Billion-dollar deals evaporated. His daughter was sick and scared. I'm on my way, he said, standing. Darius, Sienna's voice cut through. Go, we'll handle this. I can't. We need to hear. Sienna picked up her phone. Dr. Monroe, it's Sienna Brooks. Emergency, best pediatric team, mobile diagnostic unit, everything. I'm sending an address, 20 minutes, for the daughter of the most important person in my company. Spare no expense. She looked at Darius. My medical team is going to your apartment. They'll take care of her. Let me handle this. Let me fight for your daughter so you can fight for us. Tears pricked Darius's eyes. For years, he had been alone. Now this powerful black woman was using her empire to protect Maya. Thank you. We're partners. We take care of our own. The audio feed crackled. Victor's voice. Minor housekeeping, Damien. Sienna's lawyers panic over EU regulation. This cleans it up. Paper rustled. Damien's dismissive laugh. Her lawyers are panicking. Good, fine. Whatever it takes to get her to sign. Relief swept the room. The hook was taken. Then Damien's voice lowered. She's so focused on Helix. She's forgotten her real vulnerability. Even if something goes wrong, which it won't, the Silver Protocol will finish her by month's end anyway. Darius and Sienna locked eyes. Cold dread washed over their victory. Silver Protocol. A second bomb, one fire at a time. Victor chuckled. The feed ended. They had won the battle, but the war continued. Sienna's phone buzzed. My team is with Maya. Fever's high, but she's stable. Darius nodded. Partial relief replaced by new dread. We need to find what the hell Silver Protocol is. Start a search, Sienna commanded. Full network crawl. Anything with silver in it. Darius shook his head. It won't be here. Damien built this trap. The core is external. The word itself is a tell from his past. He closed his eyes, forcing himself back through years, back to shared ambition and betrayal. Damien's obsession with mythological code names. Then it hit him. Silver, he breathed. The Silver Project, my predictive modeling algorithm. My life's work. He looked at Sienna. The algorithm he stole when he framed me. He's weaponizing it to destroy you. What does it do? Margot asked grimly. Analyzes millions of data points to predict volatility before it happens. A shield, an early warning system. He paused. In Damien's hands reversed. Instead of predicting fires, it starts them. A flash crash, digital assassination of your stock. Silence fell. This wasn't just a corporate attack. It was mass financial destruction. How do we find it? Sienna asked, dangerously calm. We look for its shadow. Darius turned to the laptop, bypassing internal networks for raw stock market data. Billions of transactions per second, meaningless noise to almost anyone. But Darius knew what he sought. He was hunting his own ghost. Sienna's phone buzzed. Dr. Monroe, she listened, expression changing. Maya's responding, fever breaking. More than that, they ran a genetic panel. They identified the enzyme deficiency. It's treatable, Darius, not just managed, treatable. New gene therapy with incredible results. Darius stared. Treatable, a word he had given up on. Thank you, he whispered. Say we'll win, she said, eyes blazing. You save my company. I'll save your daughter. The promise hung like a sacred vow, all the fuel Darius needed. For hours he hunted, filtering noise for faint rhythms, the signature of his code. Then he found it. Tiny, almost invisible high-frequency trades focused on Veil stock, a parasite dormant but alive. Silver protocol waiting. I found it. It's armed. Can we disable it? Margot asked. No, too deep in global market architecture, but I see the trigger. He followed code lines, blood running cold. He saw the whole terrifying picture, the elegant genius of Damien's plan. He leaned back, nausea washing over him. We've made a terrible mistake, he said hollowly. The Helix deal was never the real trap. It was distraction. Silver Protocol activates at market close on signing day. It'll trigger a catastrophic flash crash, but it's missing final authorization, a digital signature from the official Helix signing. The Helix trap isn't the bomb. He took a shaky breath. It's the detonator. The revelation hit like a shockwave, collapsing their carefully laid plan. So we're trapped, Margot said grimly. Sign, Silver activates, and we're wiped. Don't sign. Damien initiates hostile takeover, and with Victor poisoning the board, he wins. Checkmate. Sienna stared at the monitor, hands clenched. No, I do not lose, not to him. She turned to Darius. There must be a third option. You built this weapon. Is there a flaw, any way to turn it off? Darius's mind raced through years-old code existing only in memory. He had built Silver to be perfect, but he had been paranoid. Damien stole my code, he said slowly, but he didn't understand its soul. He's brilliant, but not a creator. He knows how to use it, not the philosophy behind it. A memory sparked. I built a failsafe, a kill switch. It's a sequence-specific nonsensical microtrades, a data string disguised as market activity, a pattern so illogical it would never occur naturally. If the algorithm detects that exact sequence, it interprets it as catastrophic system failure and executes immediate shutdown. Can you execute it? Sienna asked urgently. Darius's face fell. I need a terminal with direct ultra-low latency access to the market central exchange server, a broker who can execute a custom multi-part trade in the final moments before the market closes without tripping regulatory alarms. We can't use Veil's trading desk. Victor and Damien would see it coming. They needed a ghost. Darius's mind sifted through the wreckage of his past. There was one, Ryan Hale, his former junior analyst, genius for market mechanics with fanatical loyalty. Darius had cut ties to protect him. Who is it? Sienna saw the thought flicker. Ryan Hale, the best I'd seen. But I haven't spoken to him in years. He probably thinks I'm a criminal. Find him, Sienna ordered. Minutes later, Dana had an answer. Ryan was senior partner at an independent high-frequency trading firm specializing in exactly what Darius needed. She provided his cell number. Darius stared at it. This call was harder than facing Sienna, asking the one person whose respect he valued to believe again. He dialed. 2 rings. This is Ryan? Ryan, it's Darius Kane. Silence, ice wall. Darius, after years, what the hell do you want? I need your help. It's Damien. He's doing it again, but this time it's not just one fund. He's about to crash a multi-billion-dollar company. He weaponized the Silver algorithm. Ryan took a sharp breath. Silver, I thought you destroyed that research. I should have. He stole it and integrated it into the market. I found a way to stop it, but I need to execute a trade sequence in the final moments before the market closes tomorrow. I need your terminal, your help. You're asking me to risk everything based on a ghost story from a man who disappeared because you were there, Darius. You know what we were building. Deep down, you know I didn't do what they said. You know it was Damien. I'm asking you to trust what you knew then, not what you've heard since. Long silence, hope fading. Then Ryan spoke. The coffee shop on Grand Street, the one we used to go to 1 hour, you come alone. If I don't like what I hear, you walk away and never call again. The line went dead. I have a meeting, Darius told Sienna. Okay, she said. Signing ceremony is tomorrow. I'll go. I'll sit across from Damien and Victor and stall as long as possible. Margot will be with me, ready to deploy our legal poison as last resort. She looked at Darius intensely. You meet your friend, do whatever it takes. Tomorrow, while I'm facing them, you'll be in his office preparing the kill switch. The fate of this company rests on you and a years-old ghost. The coffee shop was exactly as Darius remembered. Ryan sat back, looking older, tired, but with the same intelligent energy. Years, Darius, Ryan said, low voice mixing hurt and curiosity. You vanished? We thought you were guilty. No time for slow reconciliation, only truth. Darius laid it all out. Damien's betrayal, the stolen algorithm, the frame-up, Maya's illness, why he disappeared, the impossible situation at Vale Industries, the 2 bombs, Helix and Silver, and the single desperate chance to disarm both. Ryan listened, expression shifting from anger to disbelief to horrified understanding. He weaponized it, Ryan whispered, shaking his head. I always knew something was wrong with how he pushed you out, but I never imagined. I know I'm asking the impossible, Darius said desperately, to risk everything on my word. The Darius I knew was the most honest man I ever met, Ryan said, resolve firming. He was also a mad genius who built a kill switch into his masterpiece. I'm in. Let's go hunt a ghost. On the day of the signing ceremony, the boardroom at Vale Industries was corporate warfare theater. Sunlight streamed through windows, illuminating the mahogany table where Sienna sat, flanked by stone-faced Margot. Across sat Damien Crowe and Victor Lang, radiating triumphant victory. Documents are in order, Sienna, Victor said smoothly. Shall we begin? Sienna gave a tight smile. Of course, Victor, but a deal of this magnitude, one can't be too careful. I have final questions about indemnification clauses. She began her performance. Strategic delay, questioning every subsection. Professional diligence masking anxiety. Across town in Ryan Hale's high-tech trading office, the atmosphere was electric. Darius and Ryan stood before monitor banks, screens alive with final hour market chaos. The kill switch sequence was loaded, 17 separate sequential trades, a digital poem executed in seconds before the closing bell. It's ready, Ryan said, hands hovering over the keyboard. Once I start, I can't stop. You give the signal at the exact right moment, Darius. Darius's eyes locked on a screen showing Silver Protocol's faint rhythmic signature, a predator waiting patiently. He thought of Maya, safe at his apartment with Sienna's medical team, her future hanging on these minutes. As the afternoon wore on, Sienna's performance continued. Damien snapped, patience gone. Sign it now or hostile bid goes public and your board removes you before the market closes. It's over. Victor placed a hand on her arm. He's right, my dear. It's time. Sienna looked from Damien's smug face to Victor's false sympathy. She picked up the gold-plated pen, hand trembling as she lowered it to the signature line. The room held its breath. Across town, Darius's eyes widened. Now, Ryan, hit it now. Ryan's fingers flew. 17 trades launched into the digital storm. On screen, Darius saw the kill switch sequence, impossible pattern registering on the exchange. 1 agonizing second, nothing. Then Silver Protocol's rhythmic signature flickered, distorted, vanished, flatline. It's gone, Darius breathed, gripping Ryan's shoulder. It's gone. Back in the boardroom, just as Sienna's pen touched paper, Damien's phone buzzed violently. Then Victor's, then every board member's, a cascade of frantic alerts. Damien snatched his phone, confident smile dissolving into uncomprehending horror. The trap had failed. His own company stock was nosediving from a massive, inexplicable sell-off. The kill switch echo. He looked up, meeting Sienna's gaze. She smiled, slow, cold, triumphant, gently placing the pen down. Her phone buzzed with a prearranged text from Darius. The ghost is gone. Gentlemen, Sienna said, standing, absolute authority in her voice, every eye fixed on her. Before we conclude, new data has come to my attention. You all should see it. She nodded to Margot, who pressed a remote. The massive screen behind them flickered to life, showing grainy video, Victor Lang in a dimly lit office, calmly plotting her demise with Damien. The room erupted. Victor made a strangled noise, shrinking in his chair, a ruined man. Damien shot to his feet, face grotesque with rage and defeat. "This is illegal fabrication," he roared. Too late. Security guards entered, walking deliberately toward Damien and Victor. The trap had sprung, just not the one they had set. In the weeks that followed, Meridian Tower buzzed with renewed purpose. Damien Crowe and Victor Lang were buried under federal indictments. Conspiracy exposed spectacularly. Cross Global Holdings was imploding. Vale Industries, under Sienna's legendary leadership, was stronger than ever. Darius Kane was no longer a ghost. His name publicly cleared, his story a quiet Wall Street legend. He now walked the 81st floor as head of the Risk Strategy Division. He stood by his new office window, looking at the city. "Daddy." He turned, a real smile spreading. Maya ran into his arms, her brown cheeks rosy, dark eyes bright with healthy energy. She was vibrant, cured. "Ready to go, Sweet Pea?" he asked, hugging her tight. "Ready, don't let me keep you." Sienna Brooks stood in the doorway, soft, genuine smile on her face. The alliance forged in crisis had softened into deep friendship. "You earned your weekend." "We both did," Darius said, heart full of immense gratitude. He looked at his daughter, then at the woman who had gambled everything on a ghost. He had his life back, his daughter's future back. He was no longer invisible. Sometimes the most valuable assets aren't on any balance sheet. They're the hidden talents we overlook, the quiet integrity we dismiss, and the courage to listen when a voice speaks truth from the shadows. Sometimes the greatest risk yields the greatest reward, a second chance.